Hi, boys and girls. We're here with another round of When I Was Your Age, and today we are blessed to have with us a former Burrell student and athlete, Miss Alaina York.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're all doing great, Alaina, and we're so glad you're here with us today.
Me too.
So we have a few questions for you, and hopefully you can share some stories that our kids with back at Stewart School in Bon Air can relate to. All right, first question. What year and who was your teacher when you were in kindergarten, and what building were you at?
Well, I was at Stewart School because Stewart was so much better than Bon Air. I started kindergarten in 2004, and Mrs. Swandersky was my kindergarten teacher.
Okay, and what the kids might not be aware of, when you came through elementary school, there were two buildings. You could go to kindergarten at Bon Air or Stewart School, but now that's not the case. Everybody's at Bon Air to start with.
We had that rivalry going. They had the bigger gym, we had the bigger auditorium.
Yes, exactly. So, well, at that age, kindergarten through fifth grade, do you have any sports or things that you'd like to share that you enjoyed at Stewart or Bon Air?
Well, I played softball for Burrell Fast Pitch all through elementary school. Started when I was 5, so I would have been in kindergarten. I did some taekwondo. I did some dance as well. And then that was all the sports I played.
Okay, where did you do taekwondo and dance class at?
I did dance at, I started off at Sanderlin's, and then I went to Tony's dance studio until I was about 12, and then I stopped dancing. And
okay.
I did taekwondo at Cho's Taekwondo out right behind Buffalo Bills in New Ken.
Okay, very good. And I know we still have a lot of our kids do taekwondo and dance that seem to very much enjoy it, as did you.
Yeah, it was fun.
Now, moving back to school, so let's talk about the most important subject at school, which we know is gym class.
Of course.
What can you share with us what maybe some of your favorite gym class games were?
I loved spider ball because you got to hit people with the ball. You got to run around. It was so much fun. Which
I think a lot of our kids can relate to, because we still play spider ball, at least at Stewart School. Bon Air, not so much yet. Any other games you enjoyed?
That and dodgeball. Those were my two favorites.
Okay.
Almost, but
yeah, well, that seems to be a lot of kids' favorites coming through school. Do you have any stories you can share with our audience? Maybe your best or worst moment while you were in gym class?
So, in the midst of playing spider ball, I was running down the court and I tripped and fell and I dented the floor with my chin. So if you see a brown spot on the floor, that was from me.
Well, and actually, Miss Alaina, that brown spot is still there.
Yeah, that was me.
So we can circle that as your claim to fame.
Of course, always.
And if I recall, it didn't take maybe 1 or 2 gym classes you had to sit out until you were right back in the action?
Oh, yeah. I hated missing gym class.
That's awesome. Which it wasn't so fun that day, and you scared Mr. White, but it all turned out good.
Hey, I gotta keep you on your toes.
That's true. All right. So after elementary school, we moved on to middle school and then high school. And I think in those years, you kind of started getting serious about athletics. If you could share with how things went for you at the high school level.
Yeah, so things are pretty good. I did volleyball all 4 years. I did softball all 4 years as well. And then I ran track my last 2 years, so my junior and my senior year, and loved them all.
Which is awesome. So you felt that playing different sports, not just singular one sport, you thought playing three was a good experience?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it because then I didn't get tired of just one sport. And I think too, a lot of if you plan on playing a sport in college, a lot of college coaches look at how well-rounded you are as an athlete because they want you to be able to do more than one thing within your sport. So recruiting different muscles and learning different skills from different sports really help. And you make a lot of different friends throughout each sport, which I think is important in high school.
Absolutely. And I know firsthand from you being on our track team, we were always so extremely proud of you and impressed with you being able to juggle two sports during one season, going from softball and track, and still were able to manage your schoolwork and get good grades, and you really had to buckle down. Is that correct?
Yeah, it was challenging at times, but ultimately, I just wanted to be able to have fun and do both. And you find time to get everything done. If you want it bad enough, you find time.
Awesome. All right. Well, then after Borough High School, being that you played three sports, you kind of tuned into one in particular. So maybe if you could share what sport you chose at the college level.
Yeah, so I chose to play softball in college. I could have went with volleyball, with my 5'2" self. That would have been great for me. No, I'm kidding. Yes, I chose softball as my sport in college, and I started off at Wheeling Jesuit, and then after my sophomore year, I transferred to Robert Morris University.
Okay, so you're currently playing at Robert Morris, correct?
Yes.
And what position do you play?
I play outfield, so left,
Okay.
right, center, either way.
Okay. And can you share anything with our kids about the differences between when you're playing elementary sports to high school sports to college sports?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. The competition gets better as you get older. When you go from, pretty much everyone is relatively the same level in elementary school, just starting to learn it, get it going. And then once you get more into like middle school and in high school, you have like a pretty decent jump between like pitchers and how well they're getting. A lot of people say that the biggest jump, especially in like travel ball, if you play travel ball or anything, is between 12 and under and 14 and under. And then after that, it kind of mellows out. Like everything's pretty much the same from then on out until you get into playing like 18 and under. And then you can have, or 23 or 18 and up. There's a lot of tournaments that are 18 and up, and those are usually for like collegiate athletes that want to like throw together a team and get in there. And if you're 18 and you're playing in those and you haven't gotten into college yet, and you're just trying to get some competition, it's definitely difficult. I think going from high school to college was my most difficult year because in high school, I was like one of the better ones. And then in college, everybody's good. And you have to figure out and adapt to their style of playing, which is completely different. Because you could be playing against a 22-year-old pitcher throwing 65 miles an hour, and in high school you were playing against 18 or 17 or 16 and under people, throwing 55 to probably 55.
Yeah, which is a big difference. Well, so looking back on all those years of softball and even still what you're still playing, what would you say would be your most important lesson you've learned from playing sports and being a three-sport athlete?
I definitely think that the biggest thing to look at is viewing failure as more of a lesson than a failure. You only you only fail at things whenever you give up after you're not succeeding. But if you view all your failures in life, in sports, anytime really, as just a lesson, it really doesn't count as a failure because you're learning from it. If you always learn from something, you're always going to succeed in life.
I think those are great words of advice. And you were sharing with me before, Alaina, that when you moved up levels, I think you said when you were younger, how really it was a challenge and you thought, oh my goodness, I don't belong here. But instead of quitting, you chose to stick with it and fight through and get to where you are today.
Yeah, actually, after my fall semester of my freshman year, I didn't even know if I was going to play softball anymore. I almost gave it up. And then because of like how challenging it was, trying to balance school, trying to balance softball, and trying to adapt to the way that things were, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to see how it goes. And then that year I ended up having a really good freshman year, so it worked out. It all worked out.
Yeah, it often does. But these are hard lessons
Yeah.
that we all have to learn sometimes. Well, can you, as we're going to wrap things up, can you share with us what you're taking at Robert Morris and what your future plans would be?
Yeah, so I am taking up nursing at Robert Morris University, playing softball, like I said, and I plan to get into pediatric nursing, hopefully at Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh, maybe with the Down syndrome clinic. I know my mom works in the Down syndrome clinic, and I volunteered a couple of times and love the kids to death, so hopefully something like that.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and that's a very rewarding career.
Yeah.
Well, we wish you nothing but the best. It's been great seeing you, and really appreciate you giving your time for our students back at Burrell. And you're always welcome to come in and stop by and say hello and share your wisdom with our kids. So we thank you very much. Anything else you'd like to share?
Thank you. Gym class is so much fun. Take it in. Never take it for granted.
Amen. I agree with that. All right. Well, thank you very much, Miss Alaina York. And we shall see you soon.
See ya.